Hello and welcome to the LDM Show. And I don't even gotta say my guest because he's always here in the background and everything, right? Will Davis from XY 101 here, chilling again with us. And I know you probably see the Optimus Prime thing going in, but it's the 40-year anniversary of Transformers, and since no one really promoting it, we said let's promote it. So I guess you're gonna notice what one of the topics is gonna be today.
Yeah, cars.
Right? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Pixel cars.
I like cars. They drive.
But also, we're gonna have a little conversation of Love Corner today. There's a question I wanted to throw out there, and and you can start getting yourself ready because one of the questions is, who is really the giver of life, man or female? Because I'm tired of hearing this online, so we're gonna have to talk about that too. But anyway, how's your week? You're already thinking about the topic, like.
I already know where it's going. The moment you asked it. Week's been good. Pretty much just gearing up to go abroad now.
Oh yeah.
For a couple
Yeah, this is your last thing, and then you to Japan, all right?
No.
Oh no,
going to Curacao.
Curacao
Next, yeah.
See, I'm already. That's me. That's. Hopefully,
About to go back to Asia.
yeah, back to Asia again. So,
I'm trying to be like you.
yeah, but I'm not going this year. This year, we got to save money,
Oh, I feel you.
We gotta save a little
This
bit
is
of
my
money.
my next trip next year will probably be like Seattle.
Yeah, that's like us. We were like, where we going this year? I was like, local.
Yeah.
I mean, local by
Where can
United
that-
States.
Where can that $20 Chinese bus get me? You feel
Right.
me?
If I got to be in a little van and,
You know what I'm
people
saying?
coughing,
I'm
we're
cool with it.
going
I'm
to
cool
that
with
one.
it.
We're going
I'll
to
wear-
that
I'll
one.
wear a face mask again for 4 hours.
I know, right? No, but we're gonna go local, meaning United States somewhere. I was thinking about just going to go see the biggest pancake or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that exists, but I know the biggest.
Oh, it definitely does. It's just I feel like going to a state where one of the biggest is. I gotta watch my back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You gotta look up?
I'm not. I'm a little too sun blessed. A little too sun blessed.
Oh, you sun blessed. Oh,
A
okay.
little too sun blessed.
Yeah. No, I'll just walk around and be like, "Wow, that tan place was good." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, "How you doing, buddy? Did you see that tan place open? Oh my God, I went for like 5 minutes." No, but yeah, it's going good. We're preparing for the summer, so preparing to go outdoors. Honestly, I'm not no weatherman, but the way the weather was this year of winter, I think this is going to be one of the hot summers.
You know what? I'm not even gonna be mad about it. As long as the weather is just consistent, I am tired of the up and down. Because even winter, right? When winter was cold, it was cold. But then it'd be like a week of freezing cold, and then out of nowhere, we're getting spring weather, and you're just like, is it coming early? And the next week's like, nah, bro, I'm just joking.
I'm just messing with you.
Like, no, just stop messing with my heart. Just if I know I'm a burn, I know I gotta get a lot of pollen spring, right?
Hey.
And if it's gonna be up and down, I don't know what to do, what to wear, and I'm tired of it. Like, why am I wearing my hoodie, in the morning and taking it off in the afternoon and putting it back on before the sun drops?
Hey.
Stop it.
Mother
Stop
Nature
it.
said, you celebrate April 1st as April Fool. I'm going to celebrate the whole April as April Fool you.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
real, man.
Like, it's been going up and down. Like,
But I can't help but be excited though for May,
oh, man.
because the moment I get back from my trip, then it's time to start casting.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
You got the XY 101 casting coming.
we got Geekdom casting.
Geekdom.
We got sketches that we're going to be
Oh, my
casting
God.
for.
The game show.
Yep.
It's the summer's going to be
Busy.
We say we're going to be outside more, but I think we're going to probably wind up inside more because
don't know.
all the casting that we're doing. No, the filming's going to be outdoors at least,
Wait, no,
some of them.
Do you know how many summer events there are? We still gonna be outside.
Yeah,
They're gonna be think that we single because we outside so much. Gonna be
Yeah,
thinking
the
it.
parades, the events, even our events. You know what I mean? So even my son is preparing already for his the book bag giveaway. He's already shipping toys to the Philippines. So watch out for that. Raiden's World. Go on Instagram. You're gonna start promoting that he's collecting toys early because he said he got just the borderline last year. Of shipping it to the Philippines.
To get there in time?
Yeah, so when we got there, it was there a week before. But the last year that we got there, we never got there in time.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to watch the kids getting toys on video. So this year we're not going, so we're going to be watching it on video again. But we have the family members giving out toys. We got the foster kids here that we're going to be doing, and of our own. Because I liked it last year.
Yeah, there's
last year was
thing
fun.
In the studio, the kids came. They got to do art. They got gifts. There was cotton candy.
Yeah, I thought honestly, since the first year we did it, everybody ran to the bouncy house and to Santa. So I said, okay, we don't have the bouncy house. They're going to run to Santa. Nope, they ran to the arts and crafts and cotton candy.
Well, I mean, come on. What kid doesn't want cotton candy?
Yeah.
I want cotton candy, and I'm grown. I'm a grown little man.
Yeah, but I used to eat a lot of you guys out there, you used to eat a lot of something, and all of a sudden now you can't. You're like, you don't want to eat it at all, or you just can't eat it. Like cotton candy is one of them. Like I used to eat the whole bag, and now after like 2 or 3, I'm like,
Chef Boyardee, anything.
Chef Boyardee?
I can't eat Chef Boyardee like
no
that
more?
anymore. Nah.
I'm mac and cheese. I used to eat mac and cheese with chicken, mac and cheese with this, mac and cheese with that. Because back in the days, it was like 6 or 7 for $1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 7 boxes for $1. My mom was like, this is what we gonna get. And then the chicken, of course, and chicken never goes up. I just noticed that. No matter how much everything else goes up, you still, like right now, you still can find like a big pack
chicken,
for like $5 or something like that.
And yet they said, weren't there like a shortage of chicken wings at one point?
Yeah, but that's another thing too. How you have a shortage of chicken wings, but no shortage of chicken legs?
Because a lot of people don't
it come from the same thing?
Yeah, but people don't be wanting the chicken legs like that. Like, so think about this, right? How many times do you go to like a chicken spot that specializes like Wingstop, right? It's not leg stop.
I think
and
that's
people
true.
Think, and everybody gets confused because the drumlet they think is a drum leg. No, that's like part of the wing. So people are eating wings more than legs or even breasts.
And that's kind of crazy. Why would I eat wings for $4 and get a drum which has more meat for like $2? You know what I mean? We have our guest. I'm not going to mention right now because I want to be a surprise. But in the background, talk about he a breast man.
You know,
listen.
When it comes to chicken, I'm not.
Well, in my case, when it comes to chicks, I'm a breast man too.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
No, but we're going to take a small break. You know, when we come back, we're going to have our guests here. We're going to talk about a little bit of Transformers, and then we're going to hit our big topics. So we're going to roll out.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Come, let's play. LDM Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go. You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music. Back into time. Flashback. New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
All right. Well, welcome back to the LDM Show. And I got my guest here, Mo from Nerdaricans. You can check him out on Tuesday, 6 p.m. on the LDM Network. And, of course, we have Will here with no mic, but transformed and everything.
You must always believe in Optimus.
Wow. Optimus came out with the transform. Now I know what's been in there. All these years, I've been like, what does he carry in the cargo? Like, now I know.
See?
Now I know. It's a mic.
Mic.
That's why you never can see what he has in the cargo.
I mean, sometimes he has bullets.
I thought it was like weaponry or maybe drugs from the cartel that he's bringing over and no one knows. I don't know what's in there. There's so many different stories you can put.
Beach chairs, coolers, with some cool,
Yeah.
They like to hang out on the beach every now and then.
But the one,
Optimus
again,
at the beach. That sounds hilarious, actually. I
know,
I
right?
would watch that.
What did they use for suntan oil? Suntan lotion.
Probably,
Pass
yeah.
me the WD. Pass me the WD-40. Hey, I take the W70 oil from I don't want to say their brand name, but because they don't pay us, but rub it on. I don't know. But as you can see, it's the 40th anniversary
use?
of that's what happened there. See? The 48th year of Transformers. So we're going to start off a little bit from the anime, where back in the days we called it cartoons, all the way into now. But the one thing that, since we're talking about this, when they transform, where the heck did the back piece used to go? Back in the 80 cartoons, it used to just disappear. I remember one that it stood in the side and he came out from it, and then he ran and left that there.
Oh yeah.
But then other than that, you just see it like
the trailer. Yeah.
It's just like where, because it doesn't transform into him. He doesn't transform into it.
Right. No, it depends, because there's certain times you see Optimus and he doesn't have the trailer.
That's why
right?
I think they were like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But then there are times where like the trailer will be his whole like weaponry, right? He opens up, he has the axe, he'll have the guns, he'll have laser, whatever. Like, so it kind of just depends on who was creating it, like whoever wrote Superman and how great his powers get.
Right. But what is your best anime, if you can comment below, from the 80s or from now, storyline versus drawing. So let's hit that first. Which was your favorite storylines from the anime / cartoons?
From the original Transformers, my favorite is when they started introducing the Dinobots.
Oh, yeah.
To go contrast against what they call, the Constructicons that formed and merged Devastator to create something, an equalizer. Then the Dinobots were born. They didn't merge with each one of them individually.
Yeah.
You gotta love them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with that, because I love the parts when they started showing the Voltron type of Transformers, like the trucks. Remember the construction trucks can get together. Then they had the Dinobots. What is the construction truck's name that I say that? Construction bots? I don't know. Because I remember they had the construction ones that came and made a big dino.
The Constructicons, but then when they merged into one giant robot, they then formed it called Devastator.
That's what it is, Devastator. Okay, because I was like, I know they merged into something, but that to me, when they changed that story and started adding these things, that's when I was like, oh, okay, But of course, when we were young, when Transformers first came out, it was amazing no matter what, because we're like, robots that can turn into something else,
robots
like cars,
in
like
disguise.
Wow. Yeah. So even the song, like even now, if all you hear is dun, 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 you looking around like robots in disguise, like you. So even us now with just that song alone, we're hitting the TVs, we're hitting the. And then they wonder, like, you can tell a person's age. Like, if you say robots in disguise, the young ones will be like,
What's that?
What happened? They don't even realize the theme songs. They'd be like, what happened? But any elder, they even look back and be like, yeah, I remember that.
Well, think about it.
We're the catch for every show.
Every show.
Thundercats to Transformers.
To Three's Company. Like, this is not just cartoons, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying, every show until, 2008 maybe, had a theme song, right? That, everybody, you knew you didn't want to miss the first, 30 seconds or a minute of the show because you wanted to hear the theme song. It was catchy, It was a tune. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, even
a few shows, for instance, the only one that I remember that changed its way towards the end was The Flash. In the beginning, he had the story, and then he was talking about how he gets to the villain he's dealing with that season, to then it changed to...
There we go.
To change to all of the characters then as part of his team.
Yeah.
In the long run, and they just introduced the team right then and there. So it kind of, it changed. I always enjoy, I'm the fastest man alive. My name is Barry Allen. And he's streaming around, and then he talks about what villain he's facing this season. Now it just went to the characters themselves.
Yeah.
Same theme music, but just now introducing characters.
True.
I was even speaking to my wife the last time. I'm like, do I even know slogans from these days? Like before, where's the beep and stuff like that. You knew these comedy stuff,
I think that's Budweiser's fault.
Budweiser?
I think it's Budweiser's fault because a lot of the companies, even Washington Mutual, right?
Right.
They went with that whole duck thing. A lot of people got focused on Budweiser with the frogs.
With the characters.
And then even the What's Up guys and whatever, right?
Wow.
But now it became character focused. So Geico went through how many different changes to get to the gecko?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, you got Flo for Progressive.
That's
why she doesn't have a catchphrase. She's just
It's just
Flo.
Flo.
and then Flo, and then comes the other cast members.
Now it's Jimmy.
On top of that,
Jimmy and is doing, and they have like a bunch of cast. Yeah, so it went from slogans to cast members now. Yeah. I'm a slogan person. To me, because you don't even have to know a person, and you look at them and you be like, robots in disguise. Yeah. What you gonna do, Flo? What happened? That's not even a slogan.
Especially since I'm going to think more so of Aunt Flo jokes before I'm going to think progressive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, true. Yeah. So we need to go back to that because I remember like Wendy's back in the day. Where's the beef? That little old lady. Where's the beef and stuff. McDonald's
is still.
It still goes pop up, but they don't say I'm loving it no more.
Yeah, they don't say it anymore in the
just
commercial,
go pop, but because you know it.
But it's still there. Like it's still at least it's written there. Burger King still says "Have it your way."
Right.
What is it? It's the food. The restaurants still have it because where's the one that does we have the meats? Arby's. Right. They still have, and that's in every commercial.
Right.
Almost every food chain that had something, or even coming out, still has something, whether it be written on the screen or they say it. But like it's still a thing for them, and I think that's their brand advertising style now. But for every other business or industry,
they need it.
They need a signature something.
Yeah, they need it. They need it.
Yeah.
Because even when you come to see like Transformers and all that, I noticed like some of the new series now, they don't really have like a catchy intro that you're gonna remember and be like, oh, that's from this song, from this show.
Well, see, that's funny. Like a show like Supernatural technically has no real intro or theme song, but we all know what the intro or theme song of that show is. And if you don't hear "Carry On My Wayward Son" and think Supernatural at the same time, you did not watch that show.
Right.
That's why every season recap is what song.
Yeah, and that's not even the official intro.
It isn't.
Yeah, and
but
even if I hear it on the radio, carry on my way.
Yep.
Now I think
Supernatural.
Oh my God, the brothers.
Yeah.
And then, because for the people that never watched it, the intro is not that. The intro is a musical.
It's not even musical. It's just a sound that Supernatural hits the screen randomly.
And it's not even the Law and Order sound. You already know Law and Order coming out. Even though Hulu tried to do the same thing when you turn on Hulu. You know that. Yeah. It tries to do the same, but you already know it's Law and Order. Like Transformers and the anime back in our days, all the way into 2000, really had theme songs that you can.
Sometimes the theme song was better than the show.
Yeah, I think the only one that I can say that has a real good theme song that you're going to remember is Pokemon.
Yeah.
True, but
that's
I also remember
from the 2000s now.
No, that's from 96.
No, but I'm saying from the new shows that are coming out, Pokemon still has that one
that everyone will see. Yeah, that first theme song, yeah.
You're already going to know. But
Power Rangers, they still go.
Power That's true too. Power Rangers.
Power
Rangers
again, that was before the 2000s.
Yeah, before the 2000s.
That's what I'm saying. Any show after the 2000s.
No,
didn't feature that much, but the latest iteration of Power Rangers on the TV show,
right?
Boom,
they redid it.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's funny because of a lot of the series, right? Like a series like TMNT. There is one version that came out after 2000 that is really well known for its theme song.
Yeah, I'll say.
So it really Sonic X has a timeless theme song for anyone who was watching cartoons from the 2000s onwards. It's just that most people who are like when cartoons got really popular in the 80s more so than even the 70s or 60s, right? Cartoons were big. Like Saturday morning cartoons are synonymous with 80s and 90s, right?
Right.
So in those eras that now has the largest fan base of nostalgic geeks and stuff like that, you have 40 years of historical music as opposed to 20 years, right? You guys didn't watch the 2000 shows, but the people from the 2000s have seen the 80s and 90s shows. That's the difference there. But a show like Sonic X, for sure, a lot of people would know it. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a lot of people would know
G.I. Joe and all these stuff,
but
you know?
The theme songs, I notice also, not us, the Americans, but if you look at the Japanimation, or now anime as they call it, everything from the Guyver to Fist of the North Star and everything else going forward to that. Now they are incorporating that old idea of the theme song.
Intro and outros have always been a thing over there. And I think the difference is that over there, some of the songs that are chosen for intros or outros aren't created for the show always, right? Sometimes they pick popular songs or popular artists and take their song and associate it with the show, which I think also makes it why, like, especially from the American side as fandom, like, you'll get into the overall music scene out there because some of it is the theme song of your favorite TV show, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that I mean, especially when it comes to anime, and y'all know I love anime, like, that is probably the most important thing sometimes where, like, you will judge a show before the show starts based off of how good that intro is.
And it's funny how you say it because I think it was last year or so, we were talking about changing the LDM intro, but people, like, when I started seeing comments like, I love that intro, and we kept it, and it's almost been 10 years with that same intro, but it's like, do we find something that's better than that? No. I don't know. It's going to be kind of hard.
That intro is synonymous with the show now.
Yeah, so it's like
the old saying, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Thank you.
You know, we'll change the intro video.
Yeah.
But we'll never change the song. And the same thing with Transformers and G.I. Joe. They never, well, G.I. Joe put a little bit of techno into it as it went over.
Yeah.
But they never changed it, you know. Transformers never changed it. TMNT never really changed it, but they did.
They did variants.
They vary, like
go
ninja, go ninja.
Well, I mean, that's different.
Even though that was kind of whack, it was still catchy. You know what I mean?
Catchy.
If you know what I mean, if you watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes. But they were so catchy back in the days that even when we were young, we were like, go ninja, go ninja.
Oh, yeah. It just started with the dance.
But I gotta ask, what's your favorite Transformers series?
Ooh, that's a...
Because
I think I'm going to go with no, I can't go with that one. I was going to go with Cybertron one.
Okay, so Cybertron was good.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
You know, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with that one. Just because the Cybertron one fills more of the gaps of the robot's life.
Right.
And the way they became more human. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were reenacting with the humans.
I kind of like.
So I think I would go with that one.
I like how it kind of made you feel a bit more for Megatron.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Like,
was he really bad?
Right.
You know, or he was just angry. Because now he's,
getting
cool.
back the
He's
justice.
good, and he's trying to. He still fights the anger. You can see it. Like he still fights the anger sometimes, but he's like, oh, I got a woosah in this, you know. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the only thing I really like about it, because especially when they say my mom and dad to the human, you know, don't fight my mom, and he's running. So I'm like, so now they getting that emotion. So I think Cybertron to me is more of an emotional, you know, action wise. I don't really see it like the best action, but storyline, yeah.
Oh, if we're doing it like that, then I gotta say my favorite story has to be Beast Wars. I think more than anything, Beast Wars is what made me interested in Transformers, because I was never really that into it until I saw Beast Wars and found out it was a Transformers story. I said, all right, now I got to get into all of this, because that was so good to me. I even bought the DVD when it came out back in like 2004. You know,
I totally agree.
So
totally
great.
Agree.
My favorite storyline, but I would have to say that something about Transformers Prime left me like, I need more. Like the fact that they didn't continue it, I was just like, yo, what are you doing? So because I've never really had a Transformers series leave me like that since Beast Wars, it's got to be at least my number 2.
Yeah, especially that
I mean, I'm still a hardcore original one. I still like it. And even after when the movie came out, the continuation of it with Optimus Prime instead of Optimus. And then when it wasn't going so well, they brought Optimus back.
Right. But even with point, that, I can see it more if they would have continued like they do in the universe type of thing. Like he introduced that I'm not the only Prime. Like there's other Primes behind me, and there's other Primes and other things. It would have been cool where it would have been a battle with the Primes versus, you know, something else. Like, you know, merge all these different Primes together like they would Beast War. Yeah. That, you know.
That's because there's so much conflicting history about Primes. And I think that's one thing that no one's ever really wanted to step over and handle.
Right.
Because you have versions where all the Primes are dead but Optimus. Then you get versions where they're Primes
he was
all over
supposed to be the top Prime of
then
all.
There are other ones where the different Primes are in different universes. And Omnicron is like the reason why they're even all kind of... So like, there's so many ways to handle it. And I think it's such a big discussion of if you are into Transformers to that degree, that no one wants to be the guy to be like, this is what it is, so everybody can be like, no, it's not.
But in
they don't want to call canon because it's like a tree. It branches out, and you have this story, that story, that story. And each one of them, in its own way, has something great about it and has something that you will relate to and attach to. Like I said, I'm about story. So when you look at each one has something. Now, putting it together and saying it's all part of the same universe,
that's where it gets messy.
Yeah, because even back in the days, they made it seem like Prime was born to be a leader. But then when you get to the Beast World right now, he says, "Oh, I was with Prime, the real Gorilla Prime." So they just pass it on to you. So it was not even that you were great. It was just you were my side. You know what I mean? Like,
but
so
I mean, even
it
that
confused me a little on that.
No, because
you know,
even on that one, right? You can see in this last movie specifically, which I'm not gonna get all up into.
Right.
But
because we
just
don't
kind
really
of
like it.
he is his next in line.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No. But what I'm saying is whether to go back and forth, or was he born into it? I mean, we don't know if he earned it, if that was his father or not. We just know that he was chosen next. And then because of the situation, it was thrust upon him sooner than he was ready for. Like that's all we know.
Versus Optimum.
Circumstance.
Right.
Yeah.
Optimum wasn't next in line.
No.
It was that he did something so good. It was like, oh, I'm going to heaven after I was bad. You know, something like that.
He wasn't born to be a Prime. He earned the right to be a Prime.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
And he didn't look for it.
Leaders were not born, leaders were made.
Right.
Yeah.
Circumstances made them step up to the front and become the leader at that point.
But
And then even with that word "born" makes me laugh. Your machine ain't the little thing go inside a machine that makes you.
Well, I mean, yeah, but no, because that's
Didn't he get burped?
No, but that's the whole thing about it. So like,
The only one that gave birth was the tape deck.
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And the little eagle came out and the little. He gave birth.
But they have a whole god.
I know. But it just sounds funny to us when we hear born. We thinking gave birth. You know, came out, got born.
Thinking there's a moon, there's a sea, there's some Marvin
But
Gaye
he-
music.
but his-
and how
they're
they do
born-
it.
Hey, have you ever seen a jet plane fuel an airplane?
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's how Decepticons are made, man.
Yeah, hey.
Wow.
But they more of a Frosty the Snowman born. You know what I mean? They put the hat and happy birthday.
You know, we've never seen it because you know in Terminator they refer to that thing as mom sometimes. So
Yeah.
you know that factory line, you know, Futurama stuff is going on.
This is
I'm going on.
Yeah, but the good thing about that, and then also that's why I was saying about Cybertron. Now that you say men and women, they show the interaction, not love interaction, but the emotion between both ones.
Yeah, that's
and how they versus you were just a warrior. Let's fight. Like I'm not really friends with
Right.
you. I'm just here with you because we're fighting.
Yeah.
It
know?
made the
moral core.
Well,
Right.
it made the robots more human, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what it was. Like, you see them finally, instead of being these giant, large machines, and one's just, like, trying to preserve life, and the other one's just, like, we want to conquer everything. And finally, you realize that there's a whole deeper story, right? Like, there's more to why Optimus and Megatron have respect for each other. The fact that their names aren't even their real names, right? Like,
Right.
things like that. And that there's a whole story as to who and what they are beyond just us, like, walking in the middle of a conflict, why there is even a conflict when they were initially on the same side.
Yeah, that's
Like-
memory serves. It was the same thing. They
Yeah.
were brothers fighting the same war.
They were gladiators.
And at some point, one decided to go one way, and the other did not agree.
Yeah, because
and
remember
went the
they
other
were
way,
fought
and then
together.
they're going against each
Well,
other.
They were in the same planet fighting together, but they had
They were
two
both
different
slaves.
beliefs.
Yeah.
They were both, no, they had the same belief.
No,
and it's
I'm
just
talking
that.
about when Cybertron was about to blow up or do some things, Optimum wanted to do something else, and you have these guys that want to do another. So that's why they had those two,
Well,
different.
they got more into conflict before that. They got more into conflict when they were finally winning the war, right? And the rule that Megatron wanted to put, as opposed to Optimus, as far as like who should even be the leader, and then how to run the whole thing, and that's where at first like we were fighting for freedom and we have it, and Megatron's just like, no, now we need control, and Optimus is like, bro.
Yeah.
Oh wait!
They say, you
just
know
lost
what?
the whole
You don't want to
point.
listen to me. I'm gonna put you down in hell, and I'm gonna stay up
But
here.
the fact that so many people took to Megatron, and I mean, that really shows you how bad things were on Cybertron, period. If that many people were willing to join a gladiator rebellion, which we've had and nobody was with, right?
If you think about it, it's the heaven hell thing. You think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was going against what Optimum wanted to do, but at the same time, sometimes you have to get dirty. And that's what Megatron was trying to say. You know, for us to take back our world and be the way we're supposed to be, we got to get dirty. Optimum was like a Buddhist, like, no, we have to let everything go, you know.
Well, no, he was willing to fight for the liberty,
No, he would fight, but not
to what point?
To extreme,
yeah,
right.
to what point do we not stop this war?
Right.
Right.
And then he was just like, well, we'll keep going until we need to. And I mean, if it wasn't, like, even the fact that Megatron now is seen as a villain because he's attacking Earth, why is he attacking Earth?
Right.
Everybody forgets that.
But
They're only here for resources.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But the only thing he was
That's it.
attacking is because he's like, now Optimum, you there trying to take, I want to take what you got.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, that's why the Cybertron I like, because now they're showing why. Maybe he was angry. And you know, sometimes like a female, they would like watch when a female is angry. They lose it. You know?
Nothing worse than a woman scorned, right?
Right.
Oh,
because
God.
they want to do the revenge. And revenge is, it takes over your soul, your body, and everything, where that's probably where Optimus was so angry with him that he was like, oh, he's evil. No, maybe he was just wanted so much revenge that he got blind.
Yeah.
So
You
you
know?
know, focus on such
that's-
anger, you lose.
But that's why
perspective.
Optimus doesn't hate him.
Right.
Like, if you really see them when they're fighting, a lot of time Optimus wants to save him. Sounds like
He's always
Naruto
telling
and
you, can we
Sasuke.
talk? Stop.
And the one time that he actually knew that he had to draw the line, and I always remember that he always said, "One shall stand, one shall fall."
Yup.
And he
Yeah.
said it not only in the animated movie, but he also repeated it in the first live action
Yeah. Right.
Transformers movie. So I said, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
so
but-
he had his done. He's done with you. It's time. I said, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
But when he said that line and you watch the movie, I don't think he was really talking about him. I think he was talking about this whole nonsense
Yep.
that,
Yeah, I
that is
think-
going
yeah.
on.
Exactly.
It's
You
less
know?
about me wanting to kill you, more like we need to stop the
this whole
bloodshed.
nine thing.
Exactly.
Because again, he tried to save him. In the same movie,
Yep.
he said he was going to. So when I seen that, and I was with you, I heard that when I watched the movie, and I was like, yeah, he's going to finally knock him down. It's just going to be Optimus Prime, or maybe not, you know? But then when I was watching, I was like, but why is he still trying to save him?
I'm sorry though, but if you really think about it, every time we've ever seen anything Transformers, right? The Autobots are outnumbered by how much?
Oh my God.
Right? Like sometimes it's thousands. Why would you ever want to go one-on-one with Optimus? You can't jump him 10-1 and live. Like, what are you
I never
doing?
understood that. I never understood
Like,
that.
what's wrong
And then
with you?
To quote the
Optimus
movie,
was the only
that's why
taller
he's a
one out of all
prime.
of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he's a
He's
prime.
D Prime.
I'm like, bro, y'all squaring up on the whole gang 100-6 and losing. Why
No.
are you going up against the leader?
And then it's so funny. It's so funny. Like every time Megatron is around, the guy attack. Why you don't go? Why you don't go?
Because I need him to be tired, bro. I need him to be tired.
It's like I never see you attack until we all attacking after. Like, you know what I mean? When he's down, that's when you want to come in.
Yeah, that's how this works, bro.
He was like, listen, because I know him. I know why he could. You the dumb one that want to go.
Yo, I'm your
And then when he
boss.
does fight and he does jump in, who's in the background?
Starscream.
Starscream
Wait to
always.
step the hell in. I was like, what the hell?
No,
Who do I shoot first?
Starscream was the always one that was funny. You know he's after your job, and you still gonna keep your enemies close, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was always after, and then he used to tell him too. Like, wait till you die. Like, you know, I'm like, what the
real.
hell? He telling you your face? Kill his, kill him. Why is he still alive?
What was it in the Transformers movie? It's like they're carrying the wounded and all that, and he's carrying. He's carrying Megatron to the airlock, and he's like, "But I'm not dead yet." He said, "Wanna bet?" Right out.
Yup.
I'm like, damn.
But the thing about it though is, even when he gets the throne, no one respects
Respects
him.
him.
So it's
No,
just like,
exactly.
And, you know, out of
Bro.
all the Transformers, the one I really feel sorry for is Shockwave
Oh.
because he is there only to loyalty to
Yeah.
the throne.
He's just right
Right.
And if you see him, he really believes what Shockwave is saying, but he is torn because he has to do what Megatron
Megatron-
said.
right.
So he's like, let me just shut my shit off.
You word.
I'm gonna turn myself off because I can't deal with this. Y'all figure it out and then let me know.
No. I'm just here to do my job, bro. Yeah, I got 8 hours and then I get to go to the sleep mode. Like, what's good?
In the cartoon,
I'm done.
In the cartoon, he was helping Starscream at one time, but then he was realizing he can't win. I want to go back to Optimus. Yep. He's smart. He's like, I go wherever is top. But since he's the general, he has to go be loyal to the throne, in other words. Yeah, so exactly. It's just funny. But with all the Transformers, there's only a few that people would know because even in the cartoons, they blew them out. Yeah, but I think the cartoons blew more out than they do with the movies. I think
they have time to.
Much, right.
I mean, you have what? Even in a Michael Bay film, only 2.5 hours. Right. Like that's 4 or 5 episodes, right? Out of a 15 to 25 episode season. That's true. I think the smallest season I think they had was one of these newer series, and it was like 10. Right. But like even still, that still gives you another 2.5 hours more. Right.
So my question to you guys is, which Transformer that they have not even shown that you wish they would like of? See, that's why it's hard because they keep throwing the same one.
No, but there's so many. My thing is that they finally kind of started to touch it because mine would be all the Beast Wars rides. Like I wanted Cheetor. Okay. I wanted Cheetor to be in the freaking series, in the franchise.
Yeah, I wanted them to show him a little bit more.
Yeah, it should have shown her.
Yeah.
Her, right?
Yeah,
no, Cheetor was a him. Cheetor is essentially
but in
Beast
this
Wars
one,
Bumblebee.
They get you a little confused in the movie because I was like, is it a female? Because it's supposed to be a male.
It's supposed to be a male.
They made it a female.
Yeah, in the movie,
Wait. Now I remember from the movie.
But also, I mean, my favorite thing about Beast Wars was the White Tiger and the Falcon, right? Okay. So they don't get into this really. And that was kind of like, I was like, you're sleeping on such a great thing. Because there was a whole like romance with Arachnid and all this other stuff. And like, there's so much good stuff that was wasted to just be like, they're animal forms too? Yeah. It's like come on, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Like I said, we got Shockwave, which is the cassette player. But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there another radio guy? Soundwave, right?
Soundwave.
Yeah. There was another one who was also on the Autobot side.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, there was another radio.
They were going at each other. So I said, I too can play that game. Yeah. He hit his cassette.
Right.
He came out with his cat and his boy, and they're both fighting one another.
Because the other one had the man, the little ninja, the little ninja guy. Yeah, because the other one had the panther. Was it a panther? And the eagle, right?
Panther, and then
Falcon or something like that.
Kind of like a pterodactyl that came out of him.
Something like that, yeah. Warrior. And the other one, the Autobot side, had the ninja little guy, and I don't even remember the second one. That's how many times they don't really show him.
That's how much you really like the ninja.
Yeah, of course. Once it's ninja, I blind out with everything else.
The one where they had it in the movie, Transformers the movie, which they didn't translate later, even in the live action, Ultra Magnus. Oh. That I liked. Because he was a version of Optimus Prime, so you would.
And it was the largest one.
It was leading to the idea that he would be the next, but it wasn't him. It wound up being, Rodimus Prime, who was, if I'm not mistaken, Hot Rod.
Right. Yeah.
So again, I was like, what happened to Ultra Magnus? I mean, even in the movies, like, where is he? Mm-hmm. Where is he? It would be nice to see another one like him.
Well, it's interesting because we hardly ever even see the same Autobots in each movie.
No.
Right.
If you think about
only Bumblebee and maybe Hot Rod.
Bumblebee. Well, Hot Rod's not in every movie. I don't think he is.
Is he?
No.
I just probably like him a lot. I think I see him
he's a fan favorite. I mean, in the last one, you're like, when he came out the plane, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah.
They made him more comedic. Well, he was always, even in the anime, he was a little, comedy. But they made him a little bit more free spirit to be like that. So, but the anime when it first came out, it was more tough guys. They were like, they didn't have that humor side too much.
Come to think about it, the Bumblebee in the theaters in the film versions, badass. But when you go to the anime, I'm like,
he wasn't like that.
He was like,
he wasn't.
No,
it's like you just sit. I mean, for me, I'm like sitting there, like when I look at the anime, I'm like,
because remember he changed it to a 40 horsepower versus a little bumblebee thing. So maybe that's why he thought he was good. Oh, I got a Mustang. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good, you know?
Bro,
like,
he stepped up because
his armor?
In the
Oh my
movie, it was
God.
like, what? I'm
Yeah.
like, what
And then the
all
funny
this?
part about it, he was not even second in
No,
the
he
anime.
wasn't.
No.
Here, they made him seem like he was Optimus Prime
Well, that's
second.
because he got to be black and yellow, man. And
Yeah.
car-wise, it's got its own song. How is he not at least number 2?
And then
Black and yellow.
in the anime, he's has full conversations.
Right.
So they don't talk about what happened to him.
But-
But in the theater,
And
they
yeah.
translate
Because
all of
and-
how he lost
But
his
they
vocal
at least they
cords, all of
finally tell the story though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
But
and,
in the
and
anime-
it was a solid movie if you ask me.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah.
I love.
But the anime, it showed him more like he was a communication person.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why he said, you stay here
Right.
because you can know how
You do
to
the comm,
figure it
yeah.
out and communicate and get everything going and send it to us. So basically, that was his. And I think that's why he lost his voice in the anime. They was like, you can't communicate no more. Brown, you know? But now in the cartoon, damn, I did the Spanish thing right there. So I just thought about it. Brown. Like a Spanish version. But when he came into the movie, they explained a little bit more of why, you know, and then, but when they threw him as he was the second warrior and everybody was scared of him, and I was like, they didn't really portray that like that in,
Nah, he wasn't.
in the
Not at
anime
all.
in the beginning.
But
But,
that's
it's
what
a good twist though. I like that change. That change was okay.
That changed a lot because
Yeah.
give me that Bumblebee.
Right.
And he did because when I looked at the anime, it's like, okay, the only one true warrior seems to be Optimus
Optimus.
Prime.
Yeah.
And with the exception of then the Dinobots coming on later on, and then
No, but he had his second man, which
he
was
did.
the
Ironhide.
Ironhide was more of his second man back in those days.
That's
he was
true.
the more tougher
Well,
one.
he was also one of the only other older ones, and even in the
Right.
movie versions, he's still one of the leaders of
Right.
the group.
Right.
But that's the thing. Bumblebee seems to be like the guy he wants to raise to be after him. Like I said, that's why I compare him with Cheetor.
Right.
Right. But there was still the rhinoceros in Beast Wars, and that's Ironhide. Like, you know, he's that other mature guy. I think he also does like the medic stuff sometimes and
Yes.
things like that. So like his job function just isn't to be the next fighter, but he would be the one to step up in the current situation if Optimus were to go down. I think it's always been known that Ironhide was you're next.
Right.
You're the next leader if need be because the kid's not ready yet.
Yeah, but guys, just like I said, comment below which Prime that you like better. You know, I'm still will go with honestly the new Prime because Optimum now is more tougher and he more speaks to the people than back in the days. You know. I get, remember they changing stories around.
Of course,
but
of
there's
course.
certain stories that we don't like when they change it.
Yeah.
You know, you should have kept it the same. But
Movie Optimus is a total badass.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Like that part. But anime-wise, watch it. If you are just a beginner watching Transformers, which I don't think that's many of y'all, but if there is, go back to the originals, which is I just heard that it's in what you said, Disney Plus. They have
The
it.
Transformers.
Well, I know Cyber is on Paramount and
I think
Peacock.
I think most of Transformers is going to be on Paramount Plus
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, check-
But Hulu will have some. Disney Plus will
Yeah.
have some, and but most.
Yeah, check it out from the beginning. And I'm not talking about movie-wise. I'm talking about the anime
The actual
or
cartoons.
slash cartoons.
Yeah.
Check them out from the beginning, and then you will see what we're talking about, how the changes were. Some of them not good, some of them good. Like Beast War, I was excited, but then when I watched the movie, I'm like, there was too many flaws in there. Talking about from strength-wise,
Right.
and all this and.
For me, I'm
Story-
always gonna love
story-
the movie because no matter what, I can always just see myself sitting out there, and then you start hearing that, and that music starts getting you going.
Yeah.
Like,
Ding, 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 ding.
Transformers.
Even my son now, when I was watching the 1981, he heard the theme. He said, "Ran." Oh, you didn't tell me. I'm like, was I supposed to tell you I'm going to watch, you in your room studying and you want me to tell you I'm going to watch Transformers.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was going to watch it. I was just flipping channels. You know what I mean? Like, so
But,
the
hey,
theme.
before you pressed that button, right? So
Yeah.
you knew.
He,
You knew.
he one of those kids that be sleeping, deep sleep, and you pushing him, he don't wake up. You put a theme song of a cartoon he like,
eyes
he
come
up.
open. Yep.
What happened? I was up. Yeah, okay. So, but even in your sleep, Transformers will hit you hard. But
yeah.
they are having a new one with G.I. Joe. How some people feel, because I seen some comments where they was like, leave it alone. keep them separate. Some people were like, no, oh my God, that is great. But how would they do it? That's the question.
I mean,
will they do it justice by putting them together?
No.
If they follow the comic book,
They won't.
then it opens the door exactly the way it should be done. But
did you see what they did to Beast Wars? They ain't gonna do that.
I know.
They
And
messed
they
it up.
don't even have Michael Bay doing this stuff. I'm sorry.
No.
But they
You
introduced
can't,
it.
you
they
can't
introduced
tell
it
me
at the end.
anything bad about a Michael
Yeah.
Bay movie because that man will at least give you the best action sequences you'll ever see. I'm sorry. He can
Especially
butcher the whole story.
Especially with the military involved, you're gonna get that with him.
But that's what I'm saying. So here's my thing. If you're gonna let Michael Bay come back and do another Transformer movie with G.I. Joe, I will give it a shot.
Right.
Yep.
And especially since the last G.I. Joe movie wasn't that bad, and I wouldn't even build it off of Joe. I would build it off of that last Snake Eye movies, which was fire.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And
That
then
one, yes.
there's already built this whole history that Snake Eyes and them know a lot more. Like there's a lot of history
Yep.
that is involved from their Yakuza and stuff like that, where they could even have knowledge of the aliens.
Yeah.
Right? Go with that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't just work off of the Snake Eyes film, build it into the Transformer franchise, put it in Michael Bay's hand, and I will watch that movie happily because
They-
the violence will be sick.
But they have to, like, some of the comments were like, they leave it alone. They can't. They already introduced it.
Yeah.
They, when they opened that door.
After credit scenes,
Yep,
people.
when they opened that door, he said, "What's this?" He said, "This is G.I. Joe."
This wasn't an Easter egg. This was an ostrich egg you laid down, bro. Okay, you just
can't.
cannot walk away from it.
So
No.
they now, well, like Will said, it can be in pre, filming.
Production, and
Production
then-
doesn't mean it's gonna come out,
Right.
but it has to. Like, Lino has been in pre-production since years, but they never came out with it.
Yeah.
The Thundercats.
Yeah.
So this could happen and keep the people wanting and waiting, and then bring it out like Beast War. They probably had it a while on paper.
No,
know.
they didn't. They obviously didn't.
And-
'Cause
and-
that was
well-
garbage that came out.
Yeah. Well, they had it on paper. They just didn't read it.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
didn't read it. No.
They were
They
like,
didn't read
"Oh,
it
don't we
good.
have a movie that needs to come out? I got you."
I got you.
We got a 5-year-old said, "This works."
They were like,
Yep.
Here you go.
That must have
You
been
know
the
what I
first
mean?
Chat GPT thing ever made. Like,
Now,
like, what's going on?
the good thing about the G.I. Joe movie I like is the characters, the way they move and all that. But when you come to the storyline, you're like,
Yeah.
I found myself eating more popcorn. I was not even really like
I'm sorry, but
in it.
But you were waiting more for the action. And
Yeah.
then you just, like when they start talking.
Yeah.
even
and
the
then when you hear
action for me
again,
was
you're like, huh? Oh, okay.
But even that, I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just coming from the Bronx, but there was way too many Brooklyn references for me to be happy through this movie.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, the only good
Okay.
parts of the movie was the I get to be a Power Ranger part,
Mm-hmm.
and that's mostly because all of us are like, yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like it was even great. It was just kind of like, I would do that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's about it.
All right, before we go to the commercial, I want to say which human character, was the best? Like their human, like Mark Wahlberg, and which one did you think did a good job with the Transformers being their side eye?
All right, so I'm gonna say Mark Wahlberg definitely fit the
Number
look.
one?
No.
Oh, okay.
It definitely fit the look of the person that should be with the Transformers and had some badass moments. But I don't know if anybody realizes how much running Shia LaBeouf had to do when that city was falling down, like literal physical running as they recorded that.
Yeah.
He has to be, and maybe it's because he was Maniac McGee, one of my favorite book brought to life on Nickelodeon. But that fool can run, and if you watch every movie, that fool can really run. That I'm gonna give it to him because, wow.
Yeah. Okay. I got you in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Action-wise,
But-
action-wise, but I think Mark Wahlberg was a little more of the funny side, just a tad more funnier, because the punt that come in, he
That's
did it.
because
at the
Shia
correct
LaBeouf
time.
had the secret agent that was the funny
that's
guy.
True, that's true.
But Josh, when they say he's handling the Rangers and they're doing like from the first film.
That's true.
That first scene.
That's true.
When the Rangers are going against these guys from the secret agency.
Yeah.
And you see this big guy, and he takes the gun and he's like, these guys don't like to lose. I'd listen to them.
Yeah.
I like Josh. I mean, from the first couple
It's
of
kinda
films that
hard.
he's appeared, I'm with Josh, man. I
Yeah.
like that character.
It's kind of hard where
I mean, if you're gonna
each
do
one.
G.I. Joe, if you're gonna do G.I. Joe, I wish they'd bring in Josh to play a character.
Yeah.
Like he transferred over into G.I. Joe, and he's leading the team.
Yeah,
when it
I
goes
would mess
against
with
the
it.
But I
Decepticons.
think, and I gotta probably disagree a little bit, because if G.I. Joe is like a military thing, Mark Wahlberg falls more into the military look. You know what I mean?
He's beefier. Don't get me wrong, but I would say Josh definitely improved, especially when they had
Josh is more like the action guy. You know what I mean?
Jumped out of the freaking plane at the beginning of that first
Yeah.
Come on now. They're actually going, they're doing that. He pulls up. I mean, after all the first 3 movies, they're doing that whole thing. I like either one of them can be Joe. Right? But I agree with you. He should be a part of it. After all the years put in and the work put in. And I mean, he made it work for him. Because I'm sorry, being in the military, I see more guys built like him
than
when that like
but I'm talking about like movie wise, because even back in the days, nobody really looked buffed and everything.
No, but that's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like they're going for something a bit more authentic.
Right.
I would go with Josh and you would want Mark to be like if Mark was there and to be the guy with the heavy artillery.
Yeah,
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Or like he was the engineer.
Right.
The engineer taking what he's already known of the technology, reverse engineering it, and bring some more stuff to Joe and say, hey, here's his latest thing that we've reversed engineered.
I would be happy to get all of, at least a lot of the old cast members involved into whatever the final Transformers movie is going to be.
Right,
and that's just as a fan.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think truly they should just bring Tom Cruise coming down and say, oops, wrong movie, and then go back up.
That would be hilarious.
Hey, we're going to take a small break. We're going to come back, and we're going to have a good topic. Don't go away.
I would watch.
Hello, and welcome back to the LDM Show. I hope you had a good time watching that little segment of the Transformers. I did. I thought it was a little kid sitting here at one time when we were talking about the cartoons and stuff. I was just thinking, damn, I remember sitting with the cereals in front of the big TV with the...
What?
Anyway, you know...
You got way too much gray hair to be a little kid, bro.
And then we had to use the alicate, the pressure pliers, because the button... Anyway.
So, yep.
Our antenna was the aluminum foil. But anyway, if you want to... you got to go back. You got to go back if you don't know what I mean.
When the TV used to have a whole backside.
Yeah. Yes. It took 3 to 4 people to that's why they didn't. If you notice back in the days, before we get into the topic, back in the days, they used to do spring cleaning in the living room, but the TV was always in the same spot.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to lift that.
No,
you was like, no, you got to wait for like 3, 4 people just to move it to the one side.
Shoot, and you didn't want to move it because just in case you messed it up, that thing wasn't cheap.
No, it wasn't.
And I gotta watch my shows.
So we found a way, the buttons broke. Okay, you just use the pliers, antennas with aluminum foil.
That thing has to have it so that way the light inside won't light up no more before I get a new one.
Yeah, even if the light goes, they used to sell the bulb. That you just go and you're clicking another bulb.
That's it.
So
And I don't care how much snow you got from it, as long as you can make out an image, I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how I watch HBO. I was like,
Skinemax.
boobies. So the remote was your kid, because I was the remote. Charlie! I was like, what happened, Dad? Can you put that on channel 4? I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the TV. I'm like, damn. All right, what's the remote? And then I have to grab the tick, tick, tick. And then when you pass it, see, that's why I'm telling you, stop going fast because you just pass. Now go back around. Now you got to go back around to the 4. But anyway.
I'm still feeling that fire in my hand.
I'm still feeling. I'm getting flashbacks. But anyway, we're gonna enter the topic because I seen this thing going on where the Roe versus Wade is coming out again, and people are saying my body, your body, and the one topic that came out when the guy says, y'all winning because y'all saying y'all the giver of the life. I gave birth to that child. I brained them in. But who is the real giver to life? When I seen that question, I was like, okay, you just bring me back to 8th grade when sex education was out and biology was out. Different between science class. They had biology class, sex education, and science. They took biology and sex education out, and they kept the science. But when you read it, I'm going to tell you now, if you're a female and you're offended about anything I'm going to say, go back to school. But givers of life is the person that has XY chromosomes, and it means they have sperm. Who is that? Anybody here?
All right.
To know that?
I'm going to answer this question without talking science. I'm going to answer this question without talking science, right?
Okay.
When you bake, who makes or puts together the ingredient, right? That's
the baker.
That's the baker, right? That's the person who's making the stuff, and all the oven does is what?
Heats it up and brings it up.
That's it. So unless your name is yeast, right?
Or have it.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your part in it. The life itself, the ingredients for the cookie are made by the baker.
Right.
I'm the baker and owner of the bakery. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I was like, I don't understand why that question is popping up. It should, and the girls were like, I'm the giver. Like,
I mean,
you're not.
No, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, right? Regardless of who makes the life or gives the life or brings life, whatever the case may be, because don't get me wrong. Yes, we have the ingredients to create the life, but it can't come to life without the oven, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm saying you can't say that it's just you. Is what I'm saying, right?
The only thing I can say is when they argue, I bring them into this world.
They did.
Now you can argue that because it went through you.
You to come out, but
so you bring them in,
Right.
But you didn't make them by yourself.
But who is this old fart or council of old farts telling anyone what can come in and out of them?
Exactly.
That's where this all, regardless of why you should and this and the third, just in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you to tell me what comes in and out of me?
Yeah. See, this is the one thing that brings. I'm sorry to cut you off. The one thing that my mom said one time when I asked her, I said, "Mom, you said you were 16, and back in the days, she was 43, so it'd be 57, 58 around there." She said, "I stood with my son in the rain going to my father's house because no one wanted to help, and I go to my grandmother's." So I told her, I said, "So why you had him?" You know? And she said, "That's what everybody tells me. But you know what? It was a human being, and if I did that to have a child, then I should be able to care for the child. I didn't ask the child to come here. I should have done preventions." So she fought.
Right.
She was like, okay. She got thrown out of the house because she was pregnant. She was like, okay, I'm not going to get rid of it.
Okay.
So when she said, I'm not going to get rid of it, it was like her saying, my body, my choice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I always say that. It's their choice. But I have to argue with, if it is your choice, it's your responsibility. You shouldn't be throwing it at the man when the man said, hey, I don't want this child.
That's a fact. But
see, that's where the argument comes.
But that's the whole thing, though. One thing that's not discussed when we talk about the whole sex education thing is the legal part of it. Right. We get very focused in schools, if you do have that class.
Right.
Where you don't even get taught that class.
Nope.
In the science, right? Whether you have a school that tells you everything to do to not have sex, or a school that actually talks about safely having sex, or a school that talks about every aspect of everything, right? But the one thing no one talks about is the legal thing. You know how many men will be out there, get these women, tell them X, Y, and Z, go back and forth. Well, I told you I didn't want to, and never realize that they could have just signed away their right on a piece of paper, right? And at that point in time, you sign away your rights. You're not entitled to ask for anything once the kid comes, but she also can't hold you responsible anymore. So there are certain things where we talk about everyone's right to choose. We also have to talk about self-education, right? Because it shouldn't, I don't even think sex is a matter that should necessarily be mandated to be taught in school. Right? Let every state choose what they want to do. Every city
unless they're going to be showing me positions with one of the porn.
No.
Maybe.
Again, I'm not going to put that on schools because we have the internet.
Hey guys, tune in next week when we finish this conversation because it's going so well. We had to do it twice. So this is Charles Aloma and this is the LDM Show. We'll tune in next week for the rest of this conversation.